Welcome in, y'all. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. How are you? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, lovelies. The newbies, the OGs, the motherfucking truebies. Tell me what the doobies. I miss you, bees. Hey. Peace, graffiti. Peace, Mystique. Ashe. How was y'all day today? Peace, Ray Bay, the wavy one. We're going to be getting started in just a second. I just want to give y'all a second or two to roll on in on this Merry Tuesday. Tell me what it Tuesday. Peace, Crystal K. Thank you, Mystique. Mystique, what's going on, Mystique? You be falling off the face of the earth. You be falling off the face of the earth. You show up and then you leave. Where you be going? You dip out of class. The other day we needed you and you was not here. You were not here. The trolls were going ham. They were saying very unkind things. But no, most importantly, they were filling up the chat, which was nice because it ran it up. But I also couldn't even see, the comments that were worth responding to because it was so overwhelming. So I gave graffiti moderation rights. But you showed up that day. You was there that day. But then when the trolls came, you were gone. You wasn't on duty. Ray Bay said day was okay. How was your day? My day was well. Thank you for asking. Ashe Mystique. Welcome into all of our TikTok lovelies. Thank you so much for the likes. Let's go ahead and get rolling with the showlin'. Welcome in, newbies, baby boobies, OG, truebies to the Crystaline Mars show. I am your co-host, Mrs. Dublé Jones. I am the lady with the stones, the come heres, and the leave us a fuck alones. And I'm a spiritual guide to assist you in this life in any way that I can. So if you need a helping hand, that's been my new little thing, y'all. Head over to the website, CrystalineMars.com, for your spiritual tools, gems, jewels, and services. Shout out to y'all who have been placing y'all orders. Our new latest, greatest, as of yesterday, is our pendulum collection, y'all. Who needs this? It's people watching this need. You see it moving. The pendulum is calling you for only $13. This is yes. This means yes. Okay. So yes, this is for you. We have a few of them. I think we have about 9 or 10. No, because a lovely already snatched one up. But we have a few for you, baby boo. Super, super beautiful. Unisex, right? But it is definitely a useful tool when it comes to connecting with your intuition, when it comes to giving you those simple yes or no questions, especially as we are in this cloudy with a chance of meatball energy, right? Where you may have a lot of things that are coming your way, a lot of downloads, or maybe things that you're feeling inspired to do. What I like to do is I don't just talk to my pendulum and just ask it questions. I call forth a specific aspect, a specific version of myself, and then I ask that self that question, and then it just confirms what you already know. So it's not that the answer comes from without, it just helps you with connecting within. All right, so these are our pendulums, our new, well, she's sold. This one is super gorgeous. It was a clear quartz one. But they're only $13 on the website, y'all. So head over there, get what you need. Peace, Soraya. How are you? Graffiti said a pendulum will be on my next order. Ashe. So we have that going on. And thank you all for the love offerings that you all send in. I believe we will be holding our jewelry, our merchandise raffle on the 1st. I don't see why not. So if you'd like to be a part of our merchandise raffle where you get the chance to win anything from our website, which can be literally anything, like we have so many things. If you want to be a part, you can send in love. Every $5 equals a name entry. Okay? Cash App, PayPal, Apple Pay, Zelle, Super Chat as well. But I think that's it. I think that's it. So we're going to go ahead and move into the message of the day. All right. So we are on episode 444. That 444, the 4 represents stability. It represents foundation. It represents structure. On this beautiful Mars day, on this beautiful Tuesday, the energy, the theme is fortify. Fortify. Get your fortitude deck. CrystaLineMars.com. But no, seriously. Fortify yourself, all right? Fortify your spirit. Protect your peace and stand in power. Fortifying yourself isn't about building walls. It's about deepening your roots. Fortifying yourself is not about building walls. Where my boundary lovelies at? Where my boundary lovelies at? It's about fortifying yourself. It's not about hardness. It's about wholeness. You are not here to be untouched by life, but to remain unshaken by it. Because there are going to be times where your boundaries are overstepped, right? There are going to be times that your walls are knocked down. I don't care what you built them with. How will you stand when it's time for you to face the enemy that has manifested physically? What you gonna do? It starts with you. All right? So speak over your soul. What are you speaking over your soul when the world gets loud? What are you speaking over your life? And remember, the protection, it starts within. It starts within. What are you scared of? And some of us, we're not even necessarily scared of energy, right? Quote unquote external. You may not be scared of the people. But what part of yourself are you scared of? Are you scared of your own damn power? Are you scared of the responsibility that's going to come with your higher path? Are you scared of loving again? You know, being vulnerable again? Are you scared to be a parent? Right? You scared to move out the house. You stayed. You scared to apply for a job. What you scared of? You scared to ask for what the fuck you need. You scared to ask for what the fuck you want. Right? So, our declaration, first off, remember, you have the choice. You have the power to choose what you gonna do in every moment. So this is a call for you to reclaim. This is a call to reclaim your power, to fortify yourself. The deeper the roots, the taller the tree. Soon as it gets comfortable, now you want to get up, now you trying to pull your roots up out of the ground. Now you ready to haul boogie. No. Let's deeply root ourselves. I was trying to do like the walk it out. That's what I was doing. Like, let's walk it out. You know, and as you walk it out, your feet get in the ground more and more. Right? So, our declaration is going to be, every breath I take strengthens my foundation. So I invite y'all to share this declaration with me. Y'all know I like to say it 3 times. Every breath I take strengthens my foundation. And then let's take a breath after that. Every breath I take strengthens my foundation. Every breath I take strengthens my foundation. My soul just left my body, bitch. All right. I needed that breath. Did y'all take some breaths? What you say? Hold on, what y'all say? Leora said, real. It's so needed, seriously. You said my middle name is Boundary. Spirit said, I was thinking the same thing. Ashe, peace, Soraya. I am well. We're glad you're here. The wave you want to talk about, that was such a long exhale. Oh my God, I'm jelly. Y'all need to get that breath in. Crystal said, I'm amazed at your deep breaths with baby Khan. When I was pregnant, I felt short of breath often. Laugh out loud. Thank y'all so much for your roses. I suppose I send them back 10 foses. Najee said, stop telling my business. I ain't saying nothing. Okay. All right. So what we got here? I'll be covering the daily energy. If y'all would like a reading, send your love offerings in. I would love to give you guidance in whatever way you need it. If you'd like a 6-card pull, that's the minimum $15. You get a $10 yes or no pendulum reading, or you could get a $20 3 yes or no pendulum reading. So 10, 15 minimum, or 20. You choose, but I'm here for you. Y'all can send your love offerings in now. I don't have any lovelies in queue at the moment, but I know somebody here could definitely benefit from a one-on-one, even booking, bitch. But I'm going to let y'all slide. I ain't going to get in y'all ass tonight. Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. But I'm here. So I'll be covering the daily energy for May 27th. Not 27th. Today's the 27th. May the 28th. And it is a 7 universal day, right? 5 plus 28 plus 2025 equals 25. Breaks down to 7. 7 represents completions. It represents spirituality. It represents illusions and things like that as well. And on this beautiful Wednesday, the moon enters Cancer as well. So we definitely want to discern. Our intuition may be very heightened on this day. There could be a lot of things that are brought to light. I'm just channeling this right now. So we definitely want to decipher, decode. There could be a lot of things unfold. A lot of like groundbreaking conversations. Maybe some deep mental stimulations happening on this day. You may find yourself curious, very enthusiastic to learn about something. It could be around something spiritual, right? Some of you may feel led to invest in a new spiritual tool. Why did I say the T so hard? Right? So I did channel, though, back to the actual channel, that there is some sort of energetic release happening. This will be a beautiful day to conduct a spiritual bath. If you want to keep it simple, get you some cascarilla or get you some salt and cleanse, right? Cleanse and cover. Cleanse and cover. Get you some frankincense and myrrh incense burning, even if you don't have any, I know you got some salt. Hope you got some pink Himalayan salt, right? You can sprinkle a little bit of black salt in there if you want to. But it also may be an emotional roller coaster for some of us. Some of us, there could be some close up, some grief. I did conduct a peace restoration jar ritual for a lovely this rising. It's cloudy with a chance of meatballs all week. And the lovely that I conducted the peace restoration jar ritual for, she is experiencing a lot of grief and depression and anxiety. And so I conducted the ritual on her behalf. I will be sharing that post. I believe I'll be sharing the content tomorrow so y'all can see what that looks like. But y'all head over to the website. The jar rituals are one of my most favorite new additions to the services that I bring, because I always conduct rituals for us, right? But it's nothing like me being able to send you that jar, and you have that jar as a remembrance. You have that jar as energy that you can actually touch, feel, vibrate from, and assist you and support you in whatever intentions those were. So I encourage that you head over to the website and invest in your jar ritual. I offer custom jar rituals, so whatever it is that you need, it could be a couple of things, bitch, 30, 40 things. You can list it, and I will create a custom jar intentionally based around your needs, with crystals, herbs, prayer, and a specific ritual. And you will get mailed that jar as well. Okay, shipping is included in that, and it's a nice size 3-ounce jar. Okay, so you can have the jar at your altar, you can have your jar at your bedside, you can have your jar. I ship them with Velcro bags, so though it is a little larger in size, you can't slip it in your pocket like our travel size jars. But if you feel led, you can take it with you in your bag or your purse, and just have it in your not your Velcro, your suede bag. Okay, so, but nonetheless, I went on a tangent about the jar rituals. This could be an emotional release that happens on this day, because we have the moon entering Cancer, and it's a 7 universal day, which represents Pisces, which is the other water sign. Okay, so, and it's Mercury day, Merculated, right? So there could be some conversations, some shadows coming to light, some thoughts that come up as well, some past memories that come up, reminiscing type energy. Okay, so allow for yourself to feel. This could even be energy, emotions that are surrounding like gratitude. You could literally just be reflecting on how far you've come, what doors are opening for you, what leaps of faith you took that you see was the best thing that you could have done for yourself. What opportunities did you decline that you see was the best thing that you could have done for yourself? What opportunities did you accept that was the best thing that you could have done for yourself? Right? What investments did you make? This could literally be a day of reflections, of reconnecting with yourself on a deeper level. So we definitely want to take it easy. We definitely want to be open and bring in this compassion and empathy and grace on this day, not just for ourselves, but the people around us as well. You may find yourself feeling more hermited, where you don't really want to talk, and that's okay. Honor that space as well. Give yourself that space, and let's be mindful to not project. Reflect and dissect and reconnect. You may need to deflect, because somebody or some energy may try to project. But remember, every projection is not for you to become defensive about, right? If you know that it doesn't resonate with you, if you know that it's not your shit, let that fly. Let that fly. Okay? The color for the day is white. So we coming through with, we wear that all white when we feeling golly with the all white, okay? So y'all leave y'all white hearts down below. Peace and love, Billy Nino. And we're now going to get into the collective reading. This is going to be a general collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what does not. And we got about 13 minutes before I close the door for any love offerings, for any live readings. So This is your time. You got 13 minutes to choose if you're going to use this session as an opportunity to get some spiritual guidance personally. Not generally, but personally. And shout outs to all of you who have been booking. I appreciate y'all for showing up. Y'all always thank me for my service, and I always thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for showing up in this space right now. Now let's go ahead and get to it before y'all go. Welcome in to everybody who has been joining us. Jasmine, I see you placed your order. Thank you. Jasmine said, ooh, Jasmine just got that one pendulum and carried her ass. Jasmine said, I'm just here for the pendulum. That's it. Jasmine said, I'm just here for the pendulum. That's it. We have release letter here. So I did talk about the release tomorrow. Some of us may need to write a release letter, or somebody may feel ready to burn a release letter that is already written. There could be something that you're holding on to. There could be something that you're holding on to. And tomorrow you may be called to release it. It may be really challenging. Thank you so much, Samson. Peace to you. Soraya said, I sent in 15. Thank you for letting me know. Y'all know how I be doing. Jasmine said I had to. She was calling me. Ashe, and that's a beautiful one. This clear quartz pendulum is so gorgeous. You got the prettiest one. It's like this milky white with this gold. Even though they all have the gold wiring, that milky white with the gold is beautiful. I just got it, Soraya. Now I see. All right, what we got for the collective perspective? We have processing. What's processing? We have salts. So, with this processing is giving like something, maybe you may be digesting some kind of truth. Some kind of truth. It could be a little salty, a little bitter. You know, you may feel a little about it. Last night I ate an avocado and I was literally talking to myself and I was like, I remember the days last year, these days weren't too long ago, where I could not really enjoy an avocado without any salt. I like to put my chili lime up there. I like to put my little dill weed up there. I like to definitely put a little bit of sprinkle of salt on my little avocado now. You know, if I'm gonna eat it plain for show, like, yeah. But last night and even recently, I've been able to just enjoy the avocado plain. And I was like, damn, bitch, you always had to have a little salt or something. Damn, can't enjoy nothing in its natural state. So there could be something, speaking of natural state, some of you may be feeling stripped. You may be feeling stripped or feeling called to live a more holistic life, right? Go more to like organic or natural products or something like that. Embrace your natural beauty. There could be insecurities around the body for some of you around here. And I can't even say feminine because masculine has insecurities as well. Okay? I don't care if it's your Peter John, bitch. I don't know what it is for you. You know, you got a little meat on the nipple. You know, I don't know, Omarion. Did y'all see the little Omarion clip? And they said he got an A cup, bitch. Okay, come on. We have share the news, honest conversations, processing salts, share the news. Salts are also cleansing though. So like we talked about the salt bath, a foot soak, salt soak, shake it like a salt shaker, bitch. Some of you may literally need to twerk, right? To move your hips, to move some energy around in the root chakra, even if it's like a stretch, right? Doing some yoga, some root chakra yoga, something like that. I'm getting specific. Maybe somebody been feeling called to really work with this root energy, right? Fortify yourself, root yourself. I was putting on my earrings today and I picked these up, but then I saw another pair that I really wanted to wear. So I put these down, but then I remembered that I really wanted to like call in the ancestral energy, especially today, because it's like a lot of 9 energy. But I really didn't want to wear it. And so I was trying to put it on, and then it fell out my hand, and I was like, the energy don't want me to wear it, bitch. Right? And so I put these on. So some of y'all may really feel called to wear something of your ancestors, right? Merry birthday, Papa. But yeah, there's definitely some ancestral energy here. We have share the news. Share the news. Processing salts. Share the news. We have Sekhmet here. I thought about Sekhmet as well. I think it was last Tuesday I had on this same head wrap. We did the walk with Sekhmet. The last time I had on this head wrap, we did the walk with Sekhmet. And that was a very powerful, profound guided meditation that we did as a collective. And she pretty much, you know, was walking with us, and we was like walking into our power, connecting with our soul tribe. So share the news, Sekhmet salts. Cleanse the throat and the heart. There's some specific energy, some breath work. Some breath work may need to be done with visualizing your chakra colors. You said, Ray-Bay said I called on her today. Greg said coming to America. Leora said I did stop doing my hair for work or caring to make it look a certain way. Okay, now don't lose yourself now, Leora. I need you to still care about how you present yourself, you know. I don't know if that's what you meant, where you just felt all the way the fuck off. All right, now. Okay, let's gather. Let's stay gathered. Okay, it don't have to be pressed and blessed how maybe you used to do it, but I need you to care a little bit, okay? Crystal, you laughing talking about a little meat on a nipple. Leon talking about I stopped doing my hair, bitch. What a brush. What a little, do I need to lick the finger, brush the little edge, bitch? Like, come on now. No, I ain't with you on that. I ain't with you on that one. Oh, okay, you said you have locks, but I'm not finna get it done every day. Okay, gotcha. I can understand that. Okay, now. All right. All right. So we have complications in reverse, and we have door opener access granted. I cannot wait till tomorrow's message. Ah! I can't wait till tomorrow's message. I already have the rest of the week channel messages scheduled. And with the complications in reverse, door opener access granted. Ooh! We have Oshun. We have bitters. We have all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. All is well, man. It really is. It really is. I don't know the specifics of your life. I don't know the specifics of your environment, your day-to-day. But I need you to choose your vibe, okay? I need for you to look within. I need for you to... I was talking to my daughter today about the difference between joy and happiness. I was talking to my daughter about the importance of the words that you cast, the spells that you cast. Because she was saying some OD stuff today. She was saying some OD stuff today. She was like, I wish I was blind. And I'm like, be careful what you wish for, Lay. 10 minutes later, she something slipped in her hands or something. She was like, oh, kill me now. I said, what the fuck? I ain't say what the fuck to my child, but I was like, Lay, what you talking about? You know, and I took that as a moment to talk to her about the importance of being mindful of the words that we speak. Abracadabra, what are you talking about? You know, do you want to get killed? No, don't say that. You know, and we were talking about, she said something like she thinks joy and happiness is the same thing. And I was explaining to her that no, happiness is one, temporary, right? And happiness also is birthed from external things. Joy is cultivated within. Joy is created within, birthed within, right? So understand that you're not going to be happy all the time. Some of us are in relationships right now. Some of us are in a job right now where you're not happy, right? And you will be released divinely if this is not your assignment for long term. You will. But I want you to create the joy. Think about how more worse it could be. You could not have a job, right? You could not have a job. So be grateful. It's so often that we just get so wrapped up in what we don't have, what we don't like, what we're tired of, that we forget, like, shit, if I didn't have this though, I would really be fucked up. It's not until we get sick and we can't taste anything, we can't smell anything, and we like, boy, I'd do anything to smell again. I'd do anything. But no, when you was tasting and smelling, you ain't paying no damn mind. You didn't savor the food then, nah. You ain't want to breathe then, nah. So, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? You may be living with somebody that you don't want to live with because maybe finances ain't financing right now. Be grateful that you have a house, a roof over your head. Be grateful that this person is supporting you. I know they may be roaring you to motherfucking death, bitch. They may be nasty. They may have some spirits with them, some energy with them. You sick and tired of their ass. But they are supporting you. You chose to be here. You are here for a reason. So stop looking at everything and everybody as your enemy, as your opposition, as your obstacle. It's your perception that is creating this resistance and creating this narrative. You are the author of your story. You are. All things are neutral. What meaning do you give it? What meaning do you give it? The meaning that you give it is going to determine what timeline you experience next. It's all a domino effect. But back to the cards, though, we have the complications in reverse and the door opening. So whatever, there's definitely these doors that were maybe locked, that were maybe even fucking sealed, that maybe were concealed. You couldn't even see them. There are some complications that are not so complicated anymore. That's what's processing. We have some news that you're going to want to share that's processing. All of a sudden, I can't wait until we get into Cancer season. Me can't wait until we enter Cancer season. I can't. It is so much flow that's here for me, here for yo. But I mean, you're gonna swim, you're gonna drown, you're gonna float, you're gonna stroke. Aaliyah, tilt the boat. What you gonna do? So as we're in this Gemini energy, let's start to shift our perspective. But we have the doors opening. This Oshun energy is the doors of prosperity, of wealth, of health, of happiness, of joy, of bliss, of creativity, of fertility, of opportunities. But Are you embracing the bitters, the salts? The fish I had today was, that bitch was a little salty. All right. We're gonna close out now. Come on, Big Money Grip. We closing out with Big Money Grip, bitch. We closing out with the Big Money Grip, the BMG. What's under here? The detour in reverse. So some of y'all, you've been going on fucking detours. You like, bitch, are we there yet? We are. We have arrived. But are you going to sabotage yourself? You going to stay in the car? Now you got a fucking attitude. I'm seeing like a woman in the car with her partner, and for some whatever reason, now she got a fucking attitude, and now they at the date night, and now she over here with her arms crossed, not even enjoy herself. Bitch, y'all on vacation. You and your fucking feelings from 1965, not allowing yourself to enjoy the now because you stuck in the past. Like, no. So that's what I got. Let's see what our declaration is. I do have it noted. I've been doing better, y'all. I've been coming ready. I've been coming ready. And I love this because by me having the energy, like by me channeling the energy in the advance, and by me noting it, by me having it all planned out, it keeps me in alignment so I can stay focused and I'm not just kind of all over the place with my message. Because you know how it can be, especially my channelers. You know how you could just kind of, you go from one thing to another, but this keeps me fortified. So the declaration is, I am not easily moved. Are you a twig? You dig? Are you a twig? Do you need a dig? I am not easily moved. I am not easily moved. Soraya said, I am currently working wholeheartedly on that. Moving in gratitude. It could be so much worse. It could be so worse. Choosing my attitude and how I want my day to go. And how do you want the moments to go? Let's break that bitch down. Let's break the 24 hours down to an hour, down to 60 minutes, down to 1 minute, 60 seconds, bitch, down to the millisecond, to the now. And each moment, like I said, is a domino effect. So then the later is the next now. Now what? Right? So I'm going to go ahead and get into the general readings, y'all. Brother guy should be joining us tonight. I don't know. I do have 2 readings in queue first. So we're going to start with Soraya, and then we have Graffiti. Graffiti, I am fried. I thought I had your phone number saved. I think it is, just not on my iPad. Okay, so Soraya, what kind of reading would you like? Are my lives still open? Yes, they're still open. I'm just getting started, so yes. I did say I was gonna close the door at 9:10, right? But that was if nobody sent anything. I wasn't gonna sit and wait, but I'm not sitting and waiting. I'm moving. So if I don't have any readings in by the time I get to the last reading, then we're gonna move on. Soraya. All right, Soraya. What does Soraya need for a general? Okay. Peace, the Golden Healer. The Golden Healer was in the fucking shadows, bitch. I didn't know you was in here. The Golden Healer was in the fucking shadows. I'm making this beautiful Golden Healer piece, and I thought about you when I was making it. I finished the bracelet today, y'all. Y'all want to see it? Nobody said yeah, but I'm going to show you anyway. I finished the bracelet. I'll be adding it to the website sometime tomorrow, something like that. Oh, and I did a ring. So I have it's like a 4-piece Golden Healer collection. So this is the ring. The bling bling. Golden healer, super, super beautiful. Let me get a little close. Let me get a little close. You know I gotta do the most. She probably gonna be around 15 or something. They gotta get priced yet. They gotta get priced, so I don't got no price yet. But this is the beautiful golden healer necklace. I think I'm gonna call her fairy, bitch. Because I keep hearing the song, she was a fairy. So this is the golden healer necklace. Super gorgeous. It's about 16 inches long. And it has an anklet as well. So they will be sold individually. Okay. We might have it available as a set. Not sure. And this is the anklet. Got some light jangles. Very lightweight, beautiful piece. I love this piece, especially for my melanated lovelies. Ooh, every kiss begins with K. Every kiss begins with Milanay. All right, and then this is the bracelet. This is the bracelet. So it's a little shell, a little moon, a little ore quartz, a little belly bell. So that's what we got. We got a bracelet, we got an anklet, we got a necklace, we got rings. I have to make some earrings. That's what it is, and then I'll be done. I got to make some earrings for this. So I just wanted to show y'all what it look like. You said the ring is pretty. Thank you. Charmaine said, always want to see your creations. I know. Why you got to live in London, Charmaine? Dang. Why you got to live in London? You so far away. All right. So, Soraya, general. And welcome, Charmaine. I just realized you're here. Okay, Soraya, so we have Passion Ignited here. So I'm getting the heavy root and sacral chakra energy for you as well. Let me see. Okay. Creative expression. So this is that sacral chakra energy. And then we have balance and harmony in reverse. So yeah, I'm not sure if you feel like you have to give something up or you have to sacrifice something, or if somebody's asking for you to give up something. What I'm thinking about right now is I have this beautiful carnelian piece. You may need to connect with carnelian. This was a necklace that I uncaged last year. And it's just been in my drawer. I don't really wear my copper crystals like I used to. I wear more like, I keep it light and minimalist for the most part. Like I barely even wear this baby boo now, but I just felt led. You see, bitch, I'm slight choking. Nah, it's not. I got space. But she a little on the heavier side. It's not really my stilo anymore in regards to like jewelry. And so I was like, ooh, I know she will sell. I know a lovely will love her, wrap her up, get her on her way. And I checked in, I was like, why am I gonna get rid of my piece? I've done that before where I've had like a piece and somebody wanted it and I've like sold it to them and they knew it was mine. But it was just something like, don't give away all that you got. You said sounds about right. Yeah, so there could be something that you're being called to just hold to yourself, keep to yourself. And that's okay. Don't feel bad about that. Right? The word of the day is boundary. There could be some kind of boundary that you need to set with yourself. Like, I'm going to say no to this and that's okay. We have speed in reverse. We have persistent patience in reverse. Yeah. So you may definitely feel like you're ready. You're ready for things to move. So Spirit's encouraging for you to move. You don't have to race. You don't have to run. You don't have to sprint. But y'all know, I had made a comment about this the other day. Y'all know they got the little walking race where you like walk real fast, but you can't run. Right? So there could be something that you're being called to take initiative and start. It could be a spiritual practice or maybe a routine, whatever that is. It could be around self-care. It could be around like creativity, where you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to look into classes for that or something like that. But Spirit's encouraging you for you to get moving and for you to stay moving. If you are already moving, you may be feeling like constantly looking back, like, when is my manifestation going to catch up to me? When are my prayers going to come in? And Spirit's like, you just stay forward. You stay forward. But I would definitely do some deep root chakra, sacral chakra work. Okay. We do have dressed candles now available on the website as well. You could definitely benefit from those. And again, working with your carnelian. All right. So that's what I got for you, Soraya. Pants on fire. And then we have graffiti, and I believe that's it. So now the doors are officially closed because I'm about to text the guys. Oh, my bad. We got one more. We got one more. Tony slid in there. Okay. So Tony is next. Of course, Soraya. Crystal said, I can see me now panhandling because I've spent all my money buying jewelry. You so crazy. All right, so Graffiti want an Orisha read. I'm over here shuffling that deck. Graffiti wants an Orisha read. Raya said, thank you. Pure confirmation. I will definitely be booking some work. I appreciate you, of course, and I look forward to it. I look forward to our one-on-one session. I look forward to our remediation. Our divine conversations, relations, sensations. All right, Graffiti. Okay. So you got the two OGs. Graffiti. You got Ochosi and you have Orumala. So I am getting that there is some kind of spiritual court that you need to hold, Graffiti. I'm getting there's some kind of spiritual court that you need to hold. You're being called to hold spiritual court and bring forth some justice. It does feel like it's past life related, Graffiti. Or maybe even this life. Yeah. It does feel like it's around family members or friends. Yeah, we have coronation here. So this is, you're definitely being initiated into like this higher ranking position. And I'm now seeing like an attorney, but this is, or a judge, but this is like their first court case or something like that. So they're a little nervous. So you may have been here before, but this one's a little different because you're not observing. You're going to be calling the shots, Graffiti. Yeah, there's some kind of chaos or some kind of sneaky, manipulative, ill-willed energy that has been playing out for a while. And the Orisha are appointing you. Call forth Ma'at in that space, Anubis in that space as well. Oya. Yeah, I'm seeing right now the energy that you're going to have to call judgment on. They are literally being dragged into the courtroom. So there is some energy that does not want to take accountability, does not want to be seen, does not want to do the time. But the time has run out. I did buy a timer, a salt hourglass, and I started working with it for the first time today. So you may feel led to invest in an hourglass as well. But yeah, I do see you're being called to do more work in other realms, not just for yourself, but for other people too. Let me see something. For other spirits, not people. It's like you're being called to bring the harmony, be the bridge. I'm hearing tonight we are young. So you may be called to do this tonight or tomorrow. The 11. I'm picking up on 11 energy. That is representing King, but the 11 energy is on Thursday. So there could be some significance on Thursday, the 29th for you. We have the initiation. You have coronation, and this is confirmation. With this initiation, rites of passage, crossing the threshold, and in the back there is a lightning bolt as well. Like I said, call forth Oya and Shango, or they may be working with you closely to bring some kind of change here. But you see with this coronation here, it's like, I want to show the other lovelies too. But with the coronation, I'm not sure if they're trying to, like, you know, honor or like show respect to the guy in the center, but to me it looked like they're trying to hide, especially this one right here. And remember, I told you there's some energy that's trying to back out, like, it wasn't me. When you got me on the counter, it wasn't me. It was over. But you got me ready, creeping with the girl next door. We were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom door. Okay. So this could be around 2 people here, but I told you they're trying to hide their face. Or they tried to run from you. Thought it was, bitch. I'm back. Yeah, this past life shit. This is the last one. Oh no, we got a few more. We have your guidance is divinely guided. We have the Akasha. So this could have something to do with some like Akashic records that you have accessed, or you're going to be called to do more studying about the Akashic records and how to connect with that or obtain that information. Your guidance is divinely guided. So like I said, Shango and Oya, Orumila Oshosi, they are guiding you to this position here. I heard your purpose looks different than you think. Don't get so caught up on this physical plane. We have yes in reverse. Just say yes, but that's no. Just say no. No, something is not okay. Something is not okay. Share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution. So like I said, you're no longer observing graffiti. You're being called to get the fuck up. You're being called to get the fuck up. To share your voice, to speak, Gemini. Come on, 'tis the season, Gemini. Let's use that throat chakra. How many we got? 3, 6, 7. That's it for you. Yep. Yep. So, yeah, there is this resistance though, I feel. I'm not sure if this is a conscious resistance that you have up, but, or this is somebody, some other spirit, some other energies resistance that's trying to come in to block you from doing what needs to be done. So I definitely encourage that you make this a priority to go into meditation and hold this spiritual court, because there's some judgment that needs to be called by you and only you can do it. Okay, graffiti. So that's what I got for you. And now we are officially going to close out with our lovely. If y'all would like a personal reading, y'all can always book one-on-one services on CrystalineMars.com. And we're going to close out with Tony. Tony, are you here? Tony, don't be acting fucking phony. You got some meat on your bony. Hold on. Joining. Oh, you're here? Okay, great. So that was you? Awesome. They over here, I don't know if you're on Instagram, graffiti, but Crystal K been talking to you. Masterpiece Empress been talking to you. Masterpiece said, deeply rooted, graffiti, you're being called. Ashe. So Tony would like a general. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, ready? Yay. Lagas is joining us tonight. Tony, your energy is very interesting. You're very observant. You're the one that's gonna like sit back and read the room and not say a thing, but feel everybody's energy. Like, okay, they the loud one. They the one who, that's you. So we have the dreamer. We have death. We have exhaustion. And we have vandalism. So I do feel like there is about to be some, if you're not already in this, I do feel like there's about to be some shift of a timeline. Your vision could be getting clearer. Your target aim could be moving. Different dreams, different things that you desire to do. You may be called to allow for some kind of transformation or transition to happen. You say, absolutely. I know that's you. So there could be something that you're holding on to that just needs to be released. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen for you. But you may be possessive over something. What's your north node? Do you know your north node? But we have exhaustion here. So something has ran its course. I do feel like you've outgrown some kind of space here. With this vandalism, it does feel like something has definitely been like just trying to interfere or intervene or just take what you have. This could be materially, emotionally, financially. But I do see justice coming for you as well. Now my throat acting wonky. What's up with this throat? Smoke. A fiery house. I'm seeing the Tower card. Ooh. Yeah. Something was suffocating. I don't know if this was a relationship, a job, or a space you were in. You have to look again, but your timeline is shifting. Yeah, it is. Yeah. We have the Two of Wands and we have the Four of Swords. So, Tony, I do see that you've done the work needed. Like I said, you've outgrown something. Your spirit has been calling you to just take it easy, to rest, okay? But I do feel like there's a lot of movement that is coming. So you definitely need to make sure you at least take a day off or something like that to just allow yourself to rest so you don't overexhaust yourself. We done. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you're gonna, there is something that's closing out maybe sooner than you thought. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if y'all were on a live, but Brother Lagasse was talking about how it was on the show when he was talking about dating, and he was sharing with me. He was like, y'all better take advantage of, you know, Dublé and the services that she provide and the access that you have to her, because she will not always be as accessible and things like that. And as I was listening to him, it really hit me, and I was like, damn, I'm not, and I know I'm not going to always be here, but I was like, it felt like really real. And I was like, damn, there's going to be a time where I'm not on the show all day, every day, you know? There's going to be, and I'm not about to cry. I ain't crying a long time, y'all. I've been doing good on the show. But, like, damn, I'm so used to operating on this timeline in this space with y'all and the way that we do it, that I forget that it won't be like this always. So there could be something that you're definitely being called to embrace now, because something may be coming to an end sooner than you thought, because you were over here moving expeditiously. So shit's breaking down expeditiously. So I'm hearing Cherish the Day by Sade right now. And that's what I got for you, Tony. Yeah. Cancer season is going to be very, very transformative, very healing, and very, it's going to be a lot of ease with Cancer season for sure. A lot of rewards I heard too from your past deeds. All right. So that's what I got for you, Miss Tony. Don't be phony. When's your birthday? I keep saying that. When's your birthday, Tony? Thank y'all for sharing this space, y'all. I appreciate the love y'all show. Like I said, thank y'all for sharing this space with us every night that you choose to do so. Be sure to head over to the website, get what you need, book your services, grab your tools, your spiritual jewels, everything that your soul calls. I need you to answer, okay? Every call, some calls we do got to screen, but what is your soul calling for you to explore, to heal, to reveal, right? Let's answer that. Let's dive a little deeper. But we're about to dive a little deeper with Brother Lagash tonight. So y'all stay with us. I'm going to see y'all in the comments. Your birthday is November 30th, so that's Sag energy. Oh, yeah, so you definitely not going to be phony. Sagittarius, they tell you like it fucking is. So that might be that throat chakra energy, too. Like, you might need to balance your throat chakra. Because Sag, they don't mean no harm. They just going to, just going to tell you. Just going to tell you straight up. So maybe there's something that you're not saying that needs to be said. Or maybe you need to say it with tact or something like that. But you may definitely want to, like, balance the throat chakra. Leora said, I need to understand my soul will be booking soon. Ashay, I be seeing y'all cards. I be seeing y'all be going through the bookings, y'all be going through the form submissions, and then y'all get to check out and then y'all leave. Y'all get to check out and then y'all check out. Was that you? Somebody was up there last night who ain't check out, but somebody did check out. Shout out to the lovely who checked out. I'll see you tomorrow. But I be seeing y'all. I be watching. I be in the shadows lurking. I be looking at y'all cards. I know y'all names. I know y'all energy. But it's all right, because I'm here whenever you ready. You said you got the dead emojis. That was you? I think it was a full tarot card. Was that you? I ain't fooling with you. Crystal said, I thought Brother Lagash had a braid in the back. They used to call it a rat tail, didn't they? He said, but it's a strap on his glasses. You said, Brother Lagash, you had a lock. You left one of them locks back there. He's so crazy. You said, no, that wasn't, but that's hilarious. Oh, yeah, it was one of the lovelies. I look forward to connecting with y'all, though. Thank y'all again. I'll see y'all. Thank you very much. I'll see y'all very soon. You know you my ace. Boom. Okay. I got everything? Yeah. Hold on. Let me move the camera. Chris was talking about, I thought it was a damn braid, bitch. All right.
Peace, family.
What's in the bags, Grace?
Today's spiritual lesson is women have Wi-Fi. Women have Wi-Fi. W meaning wonderful. I meaning instincts. F meaning faulty. And I meaning intuition. Women have wonderful instincts and faulty intuition. Right? Now, what does this mean about men? Men also have faulty intuition. And our instincts can definitely... We need, our instincts have been dulled. So we actually have some work to be done there. But when it comes to women, a lot of women believe that they have great intuition. A lot of you men think that women have great intuition. You actually don't. You have poor intuition. But you have really strong instincts. I'm going to give you an example or give you an explanation of what this means. Instincts is, reactionary. While your intuition is pre-actionary, if that's a word, but it sounds, you understand what it means. Pre meaning before, so re meaning again, or after. Um, Reactionary. So instincts are reactionary, meaning that something happens, something is happening, um, and your being senses it and it reacts to it, right? So, for instance, when a man is flirting or talking to or messing around with another woman, women's instinct goes off. But see, we have it misconstrued. We think it's a woman's intuition. And then there's other men that are saying, well, women's intuition was so good. How did you not know you were with a cheater? How did you not know you were with an abuser? How did you not know you were with such and such? And the reason that is because we're using the words incorrectly. I know we like to say, well, everybody's own definition. That is a bunch of nonsense. There is no such this is my own definition is what got people messed up in the first place, because the definition works in one space but it doesn't work in another space, or the word works in one space but it doesn't work in another space, right? Because you're using it right in this instance and wrong in another instance. Instincts mean reactionary. So if a man is messing around another woman, a woman can sense the pheromones of that other woman. The woman can feel that woman's vibration, especially if she knows about you, about the other woman. You can feel her energy. You can sense, like I said, her pheromones, her vibrations, right? The change in the chemistry of that man. You are reacting physically and chemically to that other being involved. That's an instinct. For instance, animals, when it's about to rain or storm, they don't intuitively know it's going to rain or storm. They don't know what day it's going to rain or storm. But when the air changes, when the moisture changes, when the charge changes, their body reacts to the change. And instinctually, meaning reactionarily, meaning genetically, signals are turned on telling you this is what's probably going to happen, or this is what's happening, based off of past experiences, typically generational past experiences that were passed down to you genetically. That's instinctual. That's reactionary. Intuition is pre-actionary, meaning that we do not all have the same intuition. We all have the same instincts. We do not all have the same intuition, meaning one person might intuitively know that someone is going to, pass away in a couple of days because maybe you have a certain connection to them or whatever. Somebody might know that someone's going to win $1 million. Someone may know that this person's going to, they've seen a vision that they're going to win this game, or that they need to make sure they don't move to this state or this city or whatever. Like, that's intuition, right? That's not where we're not going to all share the same intuition, because it's not genetics. It's the unique vision and inclination that you receive on a different level, we can say a spiritual level, on a cosmic level, right? It's something that transcends time. That's intuition. So if a woman had a strong intuition, they would know ahead of time that this relationship is not going to work out or this person is going to end up being an abuser, or this person, and vice versa. Men would know that this woman is going to divorce me and steal all my money, or whatever it is, right? That's intuition. Versus the instincts is you get a sense based off of what they did, what already has been done, or what's happening in real time. It's a reaction to what's happened or what's happening. Intuition will pick up even if a person is a perfectly innocent person. Perfectly innocent person, they never did anybody any wrong. But your intuition says that, oh, in the future, this person is going to end up becoming a thief, a murderer, a liar. Not because they were like that in the past, but that's just the vision I received in the future, because for whatever term of events that's going to happen in the future, it's going to end up happening to where they're going to end up being this, quote unquote, bad person. Even if everything's going right for them today, that's intuition, right? So, that being said, I want everyone to understand, so that, because instinct is instinct. It's not really, you can't really work on instinct. It's, you have to just become more aware of your own instincts, because your instincts is your body naturally just picks up on things all the time. Are you paying attention to them, to those signals? Intuition's a little different. Intuition, you're not just being sent all of these visions all the time. Some people are, but for most cases, you're not. Intuition is about, you have to willingly, for the most usually, if you want to get consistent intuitive visions and thoughts, you have to willingly and consciously tap into the different wavelengths, the different spiritual vibrations and signals, right? The different parallel realities and timelines. You have to tap into those signals. They're like radio waves, right? It's like there's all these different songs being played on the radio. Well, you can't hear the song until you change the dial to receive that song. Same thing when it comes to intuition. It's a mental and spiritual exercising that you have to do to be able to raise your intuition, to improve your intuition, to allow yourself to be intuitive in the first place. You have to open yourself up to those signals, and the more signals you can open up to, the greater your intuition will become. Ashe. So that's today's spiritual lesson. Now we're going to the Q&A. Ashe. Peace to all of the social medias. Peace to TikTokers and to the YouTubers and the OGs on IG. We appreciate all the likes, shares, and the subscribes, as well as all of the super chats and the Zells and the Apple Pays and the Ashes. Ashe. Yeah, the strap on here is for, it's my, to allow me to play basketball and to do certain other training exercises with my son without my glasses falling off. I'll give y'all the, I see it's episode 444, Ashe. I'll give y'all the piece to graffiti. I'll give y'all a minute or two. Decide if anything you want to share. Any questions, comments, or concerns. Peace to King Ali and to Leo 22. To Melanated Queen. Ashe. To Sidel Lior. Merid 007 says, do you think that the timeline shift is when the scriptures speak of the rapture? Like some being left behind on a different dimension? Do you think that the timeline shift is when the scripture speaks of the rapture? like some being left behind on a different dimension. More than likely, yeah. More than likely, yeah, that's probably what it's talking about. The universe seems to be always shifting, and beings are always shifting as well. Now, as far as everything shifting as a total, I mean, you know, there's so many different changes and shifts of frequency when it comes to planets, galaxies, universes. So it gets real complicated, and who knows when anything's actually shifting. It's always shifting, so we don't know. But as far as individually, um, you know, if you are, those who are aware of a shifting. See, this is not the only year. This is not the only time on the calendar where we've gone through these spiritual shifts, right? There are other times, and there will be more times. There will always be times. The actual time doesn't matter. The time, the shifting time is always whenever you're alive. It's always, but it's only, it only matters if you're aware of it at the time that you're alive. So for those of us right now here in the chat, we're talking, we are aware that it's happening. We happen to be aware of it in this particular lifetime, right? In the past lifetimes, it was happening there too. We just might not have been aware, right? Or maybe we do. Maybe we were aware. Who knows? But at this time, if you're aware, that means you have a real opportunity to shift in what we would call maybe the rapture, or what have you. But it really just means it's an opportunity. That's why every generation says, Jesus is going to return, right? Every generation, the apocalypse is coming. Every generation, it's always every generation feels that this is the last generation, because it is your last generation if you want it to be, or if you're able to realize it. So you can elevate into the higher frequency, into the higher realm, right? As far as this elevation is concerned, more than likely the elevation is more magical than you think it is. At the same time, it's more basic than you think it is too. In some ways, it's less magical. In some ways, it's way more magical. So, in the way that we look at it now, it's looked at as, especially in the Christian sense, the magical aspect is some being coming down and, saving everyone. Some magical being coming down. It's not as magical as that. It's not as magical as that, right? There can be some alien type beings, in the mix, but it's not as magical as that. But at the same time, it's very magical, it's super magical, because it has to do with you being that being. You unlocking, the Christ, I guess you could say, the Christ energy within yourself, right? You actually unlocking the abilities to do things like walking on water, multiplying bread or whatever, right? Parting the seas. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be those particular things, but, it has to do with you, right? The majority of people will not do that in this lifetime. But do understand, if you're one of the people that are able to transform in this lifetime, then when you transform, you may experience a world where there's a lot of people being able to have these astronomical powers and abilities. You might experience that, but you didn't experience that. You're not going to experience that because everybody collectively elevated to that level. You actually will experience it because you shifted into a space where people are able to do astronomical things. But understand that most consciousnesses will not shift with you to that space. You'll just be shifting where consciousnesses are already doing it, if that makes sense. You know, Married 007, or is it Maybe it's Merido 7. Clark says it's more symbolic. I wouldn't say it's more symbolic. I would just say that it is just as equally symbolic as it is literal. It's just equally as symbolic as it is literal. The symbology is that the symbolism is representing what? It's representing you and cracking open your own sky, meaning your crown chakra and your electromagnetic field. Cracking open your own sky and downloading and cracking open not only your own sky, cracking open all of your chakras and pulling in what? Your soul's light. Pulling in your soul's light, right? Because what did it say? It says, like, somewhere in that Revelations, I guess like 6 years of hell or torture or something, whatever. But on the 7th year, then that's when I guess those who are worthy get to go to heaven or something like that, right? Well, the 7th year is the 7th chakra. It's all 7 chakras. It's when you be able to fill in the soul's light into all 7 chakras, then you will unlock your abilities. And in that case, you will start to experience what you may call like superhuman type of abilities, which is where it's not symbolic, but literally you're supposed to be able to, experience what many would call superhuman type of abilities. So it's partially symbolic, but at the same time, that symbolism has a lot of realism to it as well. Just it's the realism is the self. You become the Christ-like being. Ashe. But it takes it's not necessarily a time frame. I think that more than likely, it just kind of came to me just now. To me, it seems that if you are heading in the right direction in your ascendance and transcendence, if you're headed in the right direction, then as long as you're headed in the right direction, you will continue to exist. You will continue to be allowed to experience, so that you can keep growing. But if you are heading in the wrong direction for too long, I think that's when people die. When you're just headed in the wrong direction, so you need to It needs to end so you can start over and try again. I think it's like when you hit like a certain threshold, the universe says, okay, we need to cut this one off, start a new life, try again. You're headed in the wrong direction. If you head in the right direction, you'll be continued to allow to keep trying, to keep working things, to keep trying stuff, right? So which means that if you want to continue to exist, I suggest that you make sure that you are working on, to keep it on the most simplest level, continuously working on activating your chakras and stabilizing your electromagnetic field. If you're constantly on a daily working on those two things, I believe that you'll always be headed in the right direction. Let's see. Merido 7 says, I think the 7 years of hell is the dark night of the soul and entering into Christ consciousness. It happened very quick for me. So you're saying that you have entered into Christ consciousness, Merido? Is that what you're saying? I just want to be clear. That's what you were letting us all know. Because if you have entered into Christ consciousness, then really we should all be on your channel and you should be teaching. Okay. So then you should be teaching us then. You really shouldn't have any questions for me, really. Because someone in Christ consciousness, all questions, you would have all the answers. Because you would be fully tapped in and aware. Well, once again, if you're saying, I know I have to start, I think if you have, if you were in Christ consciousness, I'm pretty sure you would have already started. You would just be doing it. So I'm not sure if you actually recognize what Christ consciousness is, or is it that, it's, I think what you're probably saying is that you have, you have become conscious and you have become aware of Christ consciousness. But to say that you have, activated Christ consciousness would mean that you are Jesus now. You are that energy now. You're already doing miracles now. You're already doing alchemy now. You already are doing, the impossible now. If you are doing that, then hey, please show us all how to do it. I would be much, very grateful for you to show us. But if not, then it's probably what you're meaning to say, that you have become conscious, which is the first step. Christ consciousness is the last step. That's the last step, right? And people don't, and it takes many years of training to become Christ conscious, as we see it in the Bible itself. Whether it be the Buddha, whether it be Jesus, whether it be any other hero's journey entity, there is a process of training that is required to become Christ conscious. Many years of training to become Christ conscious. Graffiti says, I'm working on the 7th ego of my being named, assigned to Ashe. Graffiti. Ashe, for instance, like Graffiti there is working on identifying all of his egos. That is a big part of the Christ consciousness work, right? That's a physical, that's a training that he's participating in right there. So that's one example of the training, right? Being able to remove entities off of other people, basically being able to do exorcisms on people, to be the most direct way, is a form of Christ consciousness training, right? These are a few examples. Merido says, I manifest things immediately. I can only give you the tools. It's hard to explain, but it's been 2006 since. You manifest things immediately, says Merido. That doesn't quite convince me, because I know a lot of people that manifest things very quickly. That's actually a pretty normal ability. I don't know if you know that, Merido. That's a pretty normal ability. Especially it's typically based on certain birthdays. Certain birthdays have very, very strong, powerful manifestation abilities, right? That's not Christ consciousness. In fact, a lot of people can manifest and don't realize, they're not even conscious or aware that they can do it, but they're doing it all the time just because they have the ability, right? So that's not quite Christ consciousness, Ashe. But Merida, if you can give us the tools, well, you should give us the tools. Or we said it's hard to explain. Well, if it's hard to explain, then I don't think that's Christ consciousness, right? Because I can explain how to manifest things, right? That's what Jesus and Buddha, they could explain it because they were conscious. When you're Christ consciousness, there is no difficulty explaining anything because you understand it fully in and out. That's the whole point. It's Christ consciousness is the ultimate level of consciousness, meaning that you have total mastery of language and expression. And you can just download the necessary language and words to explain, right? This is why the Jesus figure was so effective, because he would explain in very short parable type of sentences. Very effective, right? Samarido says, maybe I have become aligned. And sure, but there's different types of alignment. So the question I would ask, well, when you say aligned with what, or with who, or in what way, right? There's so many forms of alignment. I would probably agree with you. There's some sort of alignment, right? But there are levels to alignment. There's levels to consciousness. Christ consciousness will be the top, but then there are other levels of consciousnesses, right? I haven't really thought of the labels for those other levels. I might have to think about that and try to come up with a hierarchy of conscious levels. But Christ consciousness will be the top. The top would be the total mastery of consciousness. Ashe. It says, yes, I can download. I see them in visions and dreams. Well, vision, you see them in visions and dreams. I'm not sure what you're talking about, what you're visioning. But once again, that's to get visions and dreams. Those are normal things. Right. Once again, that's anyone. When people become conscious, everyone in the conscious community is, in the spiritual community, has empathy or empathic. You'll come to find everyone has manifestation abilities. Everyone has visions. Everyone has intuition. Everyone has, energy moving capabilities. You'll find that everyone in the spiritual community can do this, explain all of the same experiences. It's pretty normal, right? These are the workings of heading towards Christ consciousness. Let me be more specific or more clear. Christ is a title. It begins to happen after I read the Emerald Tablets in 2096. Or did you mean 2006? Probably meant 2006. In 2006, it began to happen. Right. It began to happen. This is true. Once again, it began to happen. Right. You're on the journey to Christ consciousness. Christ is a title, right? Let me get the exact. There's like different, I guess, translations to it, but it is the well, like there's different translations. The Anointed One, the Messiah. Right. But there are other translations though. Hold on. I'll just go with the Anointed One. So Christ, when you reach Christ level, Christ is a title, which means you have reached the pinnacle of consciousness. The pinnacle. Which means you have the ability to leave the earth when you please. Which means you're able to shift in and out of realities with your physical body, not just through spiritual astro traveling. I mean, you can literally shift in and out of reality. I mean, you can go to other dimensions with your physical body if you so choose so, right? Once again, meaning that you can do alchemy. Manifestation is different than Christ consciousness can turn this water into wine, you literally can transform the atoms in this bottle and turn it to a totally different thing. Christ consciousness is the title, is anointed consciousness. That's what that means. It's not just something to say. I know we say it like it's just a regular everyday thing, like, oh yeah, we're in Christ consciousness. Like no, it's a title, and it should be treated as such. Like saying king and queen is like saying, hey queen, hey king. You're not a king. I'm not a king. You're not. People are not queens. No, those are titles, right? They are said with a certain sentiment to uplift, but in all actuality, it's a title. You wouldn't call me a doctor or a lawyer. Why? Because it's a title. Or a nurse or a whatever, right? It's a title. You wouldn't call me a police officer because that's a title. I don't have that title. Right, Christ conscious. You wouldn't call me Christ conscious. I wouldn't call myself a Christ conscious because that's a title. Someone just hit me with the universe. The galaxy was sent to us by Lady B's Ashe on TikTok. Right, I wouldn't say that I'm Christ conscious. That's a title. I have not reached the level of consciousness of a Christ, of an anointed. Right. So, we are working on getting towards becoming Christ conscious. And when you get to Christ consciousness, there will be no doubt. There will be no doubt in your mind and heart when you reach that level. But I would say your journey looked like your journey started in 2006, though. The road to Christ consciousness looked like it opened up in 2006, right? my road. I don't know exactly when it started. I was curious for quite some time though, but maybe officially. I don't know. I know I was digging into things around 2008. Graffiti says, "Oh yeah, I did a walk through nature and by the river yesterday. Bees circled and were buzzing in my ear guiding me the entire walk. Ashe to the bees, into nature. Ashe to that." Ashe to Merido 7 and peace to Skittle Dino. Ashe. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Yeah, I understand that it took, at least in the story, it took Jesus about I think like 19 years. No, wait a minute. No, well, I don't know. I guess total about 19 years from the time that he actually started, but a total of 33 years, right? But about 19 years of actual training and practicing to achieve full Christ consciousness. It took him at least, we'll say, when did he return back to, was it Jerusalem, wherever he's from? Like 16 years or something like that. So he trained for like 16, 17 years in Egypt, and in probably, I think, in other places too, but Egypt was one of the places he went. But he trained for those 16, 17 years to become Christ conscious. To become Christ conscious, right? Of training, though, not of just kind of researching here, researching there, reading this here, reading this there, but going through very rigorous trainings, physically, mentally, spiritually, magically, emotionally, energetically, right? In India, right? Went to India, Ashe. So, like, he went to very intense training to become Christ conscious. And I don't see people going through that type of training. Now, who do we see go through? Where could we find people going through a type of training that's similar to that? Shaman of today, they go through that type of training. They go through that type of training, right? And it's many, many years of that training from when they're very, very young. And even a lot of them don't necessarily reach Christ consciousness, but I believe some do, though. Merido says, no, it's really not only reading. I think it's probably in my DNA already. I don't know what you mean by that part. It's in your DNA already. It's in everybody's DNA to be able to become Christ conscious. So you're not special in any way, as if your DNA has more Christ consciousness in it than anyone else's DNA. Everyone has the same equal opportunity. You might have more access than certain individuals, but it's in everyone's DNA, right? But I'm telling you, no matter what's in your DNA, you gotta put in copious amounts of very, very intense training if you want to become Christ conscious. There is no other way around it, no matter how gifted you are. Graffiti says, what's your spirit animal, OG? Probably the sloth. Probably the sloth. I've had quite an affinity to the sloth for quite some time. And the sloth seems to have a very, I never really looked into it, but it seems to have a very strong spiritual significance. Meredith Clark says, yes, I'm Native American and African. It depends on your African ancestors. I think, well, your African ancestors, will dictate, or your native ancestors, it doesn't really matter. Your ancestral lineages will dictate how much more likely you're able to successfully activate your Christ consciousness genes, right? That's all that means. So your lineage, basically the more shaman or doulas or witch doctors that are in your lineage, the easier it will be for you in the training. You got to go through the training. The easier it will be for you in the training to become Christ consciousness, or to become Christ conscious, the easier it will be. To be more specific, a Christ conscious being is essentially at a minimum, a fifth dimensional being. But more, I think more accurately, I think it's really a seventh dimensional being. But I know it's at least a fifth dimensional. But I would probably, it's at least a fifth dimensional being. At least. I think the seventh dimensional would be like the pinnacle. Like the pinnacle. All right. Fifth dimensional Christ consciousness is where you're able to manipulate energy, and basically you have powers like Superman or Thor or Storm, or one of these, one of those type of characters. Where you have and those beings, yeah, that's like fifth dimensional, which is a level you could call that, I would say that would be like the beginning of Christ consciousness right there. That's like, I think you could say that when Jesus came back from his training, he was like at a fifth dimensional level. When he elevated after the whole cross thing, when he elevated, that's when he went into the sixth and the seventh dimensional levels. When he elevated this physical reality. Right. So if you don't have any superpowers, like actual superpowers that, like actual superhero, then we can't really say that. Then I wouldn't profess having reached Christ consciousness level. right? But once you start to develop those type of, powers, then you could say you're at the beginning stages of Christ, consciousness, right? When you've mastered physical reality, then that's when you've reached seventh dimensional level, which is the pinnacle of Christ consciousness. Graffiti says, have you ever transformed into or have an animal hybrid body before? Merido says, I have telepathy. Let me make sure I know what telepathy is. I get some of those telepathy, telekinesis. I get those confused. Telepathy. Oh, okay. You can talk to someone else's mind. Unfortunately, that is also a normal thing as well. That's a normal thing as well, right? That's a normal. There's a lot of spiritual people that can do that as well, because it's not really a power, because we're all doing it on a micro level anyway. When someone's about to call you and you think about that person right before they call you, that's telepathy, right? So, you may have it on a higher level than a lot of other people, right? But that's not quite powers yet, though. It's not quite powers yet. It's not quite Christ consciousness level yet, right? It's a good indication, but it's pretty normal in especially like certain tribes. Merido says, yes, it's very intrusive. I don't know what you mean by that. For instance, I've dated a few women that have very strong telepathy. One was super. Her family was her mother is, I think if she's still alive now because she was pretty old when I was dating her mother is the doula of her tribe. Before that, it was her grandmother on her father's side, right, who was the doula of the tribe. So she comes from a line of doulas and of their tribes, of their native tribe, their black natives. So she could read minds very readily, very easily. She had a little trouble reading minds, but when she did a few ritual type stuff, she was able to tap in there sometimes. But yeah, though, she was very, very, very good at that, right? Once again, that has not, and then her mom was way better at it. Is a beast at it, right? She don't need to do anything. She can just look at you and know exactly what you're thinking, right? But so that's not quite Christ consciousness, but it's on the right path. It is on the right path, yes, but that's not Christ consciousness. Peace to Belle Reeves. Right. It is on the right path, but it's not. That's not it yet. That just means you're heading in the right direction, but you're not there yet, right? You're not there yet. Basically, the beginning of Christ consciousness is manipulating matter. Manipulating matter. Manipulating matter. Yeah. Manipulating, but it's really being able to do multiple things, though. Read thoughts, talk to other people through their thoughts, lift things with your mind, control the elements, fire, air, water, earth, make plants grow with your hands in real time. You know, turn $1 into $10 in your hands, right? These type of things. Having a universal understanding of existence. You know, being able to answer the most complicated scientific questions and not having to that scientists can't answer, but you can answer it with this very simple, you know, demonstration, right? So that's Christ, you know, consciousness. If you want to know, just study Christ-like beings, and you'll know what I mean. Study Christ-like beings, and then compare yourself to them, and if you know, you'll know, right? You know, and Christ consciousness beings, always you're gonna automatically gain a following. You'll be a healer. Christ conscious beings are healers. Not healers as in I give you some herbs, but healers as in I touch you and now your cancer is gone. Now your disease is gone. Right? Healers. Those are Christ consciousness type of beings that can touch you and heal you of your ailments. Right? So these are Christ consciousness. Meredith says, I have for years. I don't know what you have done for years, but Ashe to whatever you're doing. Peace to Onyx on Clock and 9 Ether Goddess. Ashe. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Griffith said on morphing. All right, that's true. You said, have you ever transformed into or have an animal hybrid body before? In this current lifetime, I have not transformed into any type of animals. I have experienced it in past lifetime. I had one lifetime past life regression where I had that ability. That version of me had that ability. It was kind of foggy. I'm trying to what I could transform into. It was like some sort of like wildcat type of entity or being. And like a hawk. There was like a hawk version as well that I could do. You know, but that's like, and then like some past life type stuff. Yeah, so not any morphing. You know, currently, I've been able to do some interesting things with energy. The issue I find though is that it's I'm just not really ready. My body's not ready. I did something the other day with some clouds, and it kind of messed me up for a couple of days. Not too bad, but it was like because I had some things to help to me to recover, but I didn't realize the thing I was doing with those clouds. You know, which my son got to witness me do it with those clouds, but it it ached me. I was a little achy for a little while. Had a little bit of a reaction to that. And I've done other things with energy as well, and it just has a reaction. Because your body, it's like trying to lift 1,000 pounds and you've never lifted before, and now the first thing you try to do is lift a bunch of weight. It's very stressful on the body. So right now, I've been, since then, the cloud work, after that cloud exercise I did the other day, since then I have been, I realized I need to consistently, I do need to exercise even more. I exercise pretty regularly, but I need to be more, I need to take it to a lot higher levels to really strengthen my body to handle this energy work. But I also need to be doing more energy exercises more often. My prayers and stuff do help me to do that, but I need to be consciously working on it. So I've been consciously working on it as much as I can each day to prepare to keep myself in better energy shape, energy manipulating shape. I have to get so. I realized that's where I've been. I knew that kind of quite some time, but I've taken it more seriously now that I have to really take my energy work more seriously, be more disciplined in it, so that I can really, tap into the big stuff, into the big things without hurting myself. Ashe. So like Saint Germain and Thoth. What about? I don't know Saint Germain, but I know Thoth though. Ashe. Shape shifting, finna unlock the avatar state. Ashe. Yeah, it's gonna be a while before I unlock the avatar state, but I am definitely very diligently working on that now. I'm very diligently working on that. But I do, yeah, it has to be, but I recognize it has to be, you have to work, you have to do the lightweight work a lot to build up the muscles, right? So I need to do more so I've been doing a lot more lightweight exercises, as much as I can to build up, those muscles, right? So that one day I can unlock the avatar state, right? Because there's been things in the past. There's been quite a few times where I unlocked some things and then I would get some sort of injury because of that. Because my body and my being is just not ready because I didn't train to handle that type of energy. I didn't train to handle the energy, right? So understand that a good example of this is the movie Mortal. So please watch the movie Mortal, right, on Amazon Prime. Mortal will show you what happens when you unlock real power and you have not trained. See, this is how I know that there's a lot of people not really doing any real. Because I know people that can, do can do root work, can do really put some things on you, and really can do some crazy spiritual, rituals, things like that. But they can't really manipulate energy with thought and with their mind, right? They're doing spell work, which is using your energy, but it's not using mind. Not just straight mind abilities, right? So they're using these spells and rituals as these are crutches, all right? If they were using just straight mind, it would be a lot more draining. This is why people use so many tools and stuff for their spiritual work, because it takes a lot of that, adds energy to it, so it's not as draining to the person. But when you're just doing straight just from the mind part, it should actually mess you up. It should actually mess you up. And people are not, just even the deep spiritual people that I know, they're not doing that. And they're not going through that type of, getting messed up experiences. So I know they're not really headed towards Christ consciousness if you're not putting in that type of work, Just like when you lift weights and you work out, you should have workouts where you're really sore, where it's really hard to move, it's really hard to do things. That's pushing yourself spiritually. Also, that's how you push your spiritual muscles. Do you know about combat avatars? Combat avatars? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by combat avatars. I don't know if you have any examples that you can give me. Combat avatars. Is that from like a show or a movie, or are you talking about like avatar bodies that beings use and transfer their consciousness into for combat? Is that what you mean, or you mean like certain combat entities or deities? Let's see. It's basically a megazord of energy you pilot. Well, that's pretty. Well, that's energy projection. That's just energy projection on a very large scale. That's no different. That's like holding a ball of energy in your hand. And you hold that ball of energy and you're able to send it and push this bottle over, a water bottle, a bottle of water over, right? With the energy ball. Now, that's the lowest level. The highest level is creating a whole energy megazord that you can be inside, right? Just like in Naruto, right? It's all the same thing. It's just energy manipulation. It's just one's really simple. The other one is incredibly, ridiculously hard, right? So, yeah. Can anyone do it? Technically, yeah. Will everyone do it? Probably not. But mostly, very few people will even, learn how to create a ball of energy in your hand. Right? Right. Try to create a ball of energy in your hand, grow it, hold it, right? And then see what happens afterwards. All right. See how you feel. You might get nauseous, you might get a headache, you might even get a nosebleed, right? There's like different, might get hard to breathe, might get some body aches or whatever, just from creating a ball of energy in your hand and holding that for a little bit, right? I've done it with children. Help them create and hold a ball of energy, or did I make the ball and give it to them? I can't remember which one I did. I think I did both, but I remember afterwards, you know, a lot of them got headaches, right? That's what it feels like going through training. When you go through training, those are the type of experiences you're going to have. The idea, to, I guess, wrap this up, the idea is to do your best to create a lifestyle, not so you can, this is what most, Merido says, are you having headaches now? I am having headaches too. I'm not having headaches now, but I was going through a little. I did get very drained. A few minutes ago, I got very drained, very foggy. All right. I was able to move the energy though. I'm not completely recovered from the fogginess, but I am. I have. When I'm done with this, I'll move the energy and try to get back right. But yeah, for whatever reason though, that's what I was just experiencing. Shades of Merido. Graffiti says, yeah. It's a grand scale level magic, very godly, and takes a great deal of focus and training just to hold the form, let alone fight and run. Exactly. It's ridiculous amount of training, right? I forgot what I was about to explain. I was about to explain something. I forgot what I was about to say. I wanted to explain something before I go. We're just talking about energy work. Man, I do not know what I was just about to say. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Samarido says, it's to the point where I can no longer eat bad food. I get so sick. Ashe to that. That's a good thing. You are aware now of the toxins. You're aware of the toxins. That's good. That you're ingesting. That's a good thing. It's a good sign. Ashe to that. That is a good sign. At the same time, see, because you don't want to turn anything into your religion. The only religion that you want to see, religion means to realign, right? You don't want to turn anything into your realignment, into your permanent realignment practice, right? You want to use everything to help you to realign into the actual religion, which is the religion of the soul. To align yourself with your soul completely. So that being the case, When you reach Christ consciousness, once again, we got back into Christ consciousness. When you reach Christ consciousness, or at least a certain level of Christ consciousness, you'll be able to eat whatever you want without any negative effects. A God can eat anything and it will not have any negative effects because a God won't have to eat. It'll just be purely out of just the pleasure of the experience. All right. So I do want everyone to understand that at actually reaching a certain level of Christ consciousness allows you to eat whatever. But until you reach that level, you do have to be mindful of what you eat to allow yourself to evolve into that Christ consciousness level. And then once you get to that, you can eat all McDonald's you want. But of course, well, we got much work to do before that's the case. Well, it looks like I've gotten to everybody tonight. So I think we'll go ahead and say Ashe, Asante, and Amen. Ime Kamalika, it is done. And we will catch you tomorrow on the hump day. Ashe. Ashe, Merida.